aspect for the data integrity. So in this session, we are going to learn about the different aspects of data integrity, their regulations, what is LQA, what is LQA++, and how we can minimize the data integrity breach in our routine manufacturing systems so that the GMP compliance can be achieved at a high level of compliance, and all the queries for this session will be resolved in question answer session. And for this question answer session, we have designed a 15 minutes time frame after the completion of presentation section. For question answer session, we have a cross-functional team comprising of the Mr. Brajesh Kumar Yadav, Senior Manager Accounts, Mr. Rajesh Sen, AGM Quality, Rusan Pharma Kandala, then Ms. Hema, Deputy Manager Rusan Dehradun. And you can raise your voice, you can ask your queries during this session by chat box. And also, as a further improvement, we are now not going to say certify any attendee. So certification program is now shut down for some reasons. Now I would like to hand over the screen to Mr. Ramdas Singh, who is GM Quality in Unimedicos Dehradun. Now he would get a glimpse of the session, and I hope you all enjoy. Ramdas sir, now hand over to you.
आवाज नहीं आ रही।
Are you getting my voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now kindly mute all yourself so that you can take the views of our today's session. So thank you, Mradul, to arranging this wonderful webinar. And now we'll speak upon this requirement of these data integrities and other things. Kindly, I am requested to all of you, kindly mute yourself and off your videos so that there is no disturbance between during this session. It's request to you. So as I already informed that today's session will also take with Hindi so that all the peoples can understand the requirements of this data integrity very properly. So data integrity. Data integrity is now a very warning subject of the industry. It means if you talk about our body, the soul is the data integrity. Is compared to with our soul, the data integrity is soul of the industry. So as I told you that a soul, it means atma. शरीर की जो आत्मा है वो data integrity है. So without data integrity, you cannot run the body. It means you cannot run the organization. You cannot run the industry. So now we'll discuss slowly upon the data integrity. So data integrity, now the industrial practices, everyone says the data integrity हो गई. Data integrity भाई हमें चाहिए. Data integrity is required. It is a requirement of the industry. It is a requirement of the regulator. So data integrity is required. Data integrity issues are not required. The poor data integrity is or data integrity issues not required. So now onwards I will use DI instead of data integrity, so you can understand easily. Now I am going to my presentation, and I will discuss one by one. So as I already told, today we'll discuss data integrity. On data integrity, myself Ramraj Singh Rathor. I am General Manager QA in Unimedico Labs, Dehradun. And now just brief about myself. I am B.Pharm graduate and having more than 15-year experience in quality assurance department and having exposure of all the dosage form except the aerosols. And I have started my career from Alchem Laboratories Limited. I have worked with Alembic, Shreya, Acumes, BVM and Rosan. And currently I am working with Unimedico Labs. I have faced so many audits. The major audits are NVISA, MCC, US, NSF, WHO, and several ROW countries audits. So this is just brief about myself. And now, now we'll speak about data integrity. So now, take 1 minute. I will just. Yes. So today we'll discuss upon the data integrities, and these are the questions which everybody have in your minds. What is data integrity? Why it is required? When it is required? Who is responsible? And what are the responsibility to maintain the data integrities? And how and where? So these are the questions which we will discuss during today's session. So now next we'll start upon this. And what is data integrity? So as per PICS PI 041, data integrity is the extent to which data is complete, consistent, and accurate. And this requirement of data integrity throughout the life cycle, from the initiation to the processing, usage of the data, retention, archiving, retrieval, and destruction. It means from initiation to the destruction of the data, it's required, and the data should be complete, consistent, and accurate. So these are the requirement of data integrity. We'll discuss further principles of data integrity in next slide. So in simple way, we can say that the degree to which data are complete, consistent, accurate, trustworthy, and reliable, and to which these characteristics of the data are maintained throughout the data life cycle. So data should be collected and maintained in a secure manner such that they are attributable, legible, contemporaneous, recorded, original, a true copy, and accurate. So these are the requirement of data integrity. So now why data integrity? Why data integrity? I am talking about the data integrity. अगर हम हिंदी में बात करें तो data integrity मतलब data की अखंडता. It means data should be integrate होना चाहिए. So then, what is data integrity and why it is required? Data integrity is absolutely critical in pharmaceutical industry to make sure that the end product meet all the required quality standards. Essentially, it is process of maintenance and assurance of accuracy and consistency of the data over its entire life cycle. So we'll also discuss during this session the entire life cycle, the designing of the data, the designing of the data integrity principle, and etc. things during this session. So now we'll discuss the consequences of poor data integrity or issues. So if you are not maintaining the data integrity at site, there are several consequences of this DI issues. The first one, the major one, is the patient safety and health issues. Regulatory actions including warning letters, import alerts, and prosecution, temporary or permanent deferment if found guilty, and reputational damages, the cost of reactive regulatory compliance in the doubting and erodes security and the customer employees reduce time to market and limits future strategic options, missed opportunities and lost revenue. So these are the consequences of data integrity issues. So now we'll discuss upon the major regulatory guidelines. Several regulatory guidelines is talked about the data integrity requirement. So we'll discuss all the major regulatory guidelines. The first one is the US FDA, the data integrity and compliance with the drug CGMP question and answer guidance by published by this US FDA in 2018. And next one is the MHRA, Medicine and Health Product Regulatory Agency MHRA, the GXP Data Integrity Guidelines. It's published, also published in 2018. And the next one is the WHO. You can say the Drug and Cosmetic Action Rules. The Schedule L also indicates about the requirement of data integrity, as it is about Indian law. So they have also described the requirement in Schedule L. The next one, next guideline is WHO TRS 996 Annex 5. So guidance on good documentation, good data and record management, they have also published. So they have given all the principle, not only the ALCOA, they have also given the requirement of ALCOA plus. We'll discuss later on coming slides. And then the WHO TRS 1025 Annex 4, it's also published in 2020. They have described the requirement of the data integrity in terms of good chromatography practices. They have defined all the requirements in case of this chromatographic systems. So not only this, WHO also published in October 2019 a draft document on data integrity. It is under the working document is under progress, and hopefully this will publish in coming months. So, and the next guideline is PICS. PICS, we have already discussed the PICS 041 is under draft, and they have given all the requirements, examples of the data integrity requirements, and then the issues, and then the CAPA, what will be the CAPA and what is the strategy if the data integrity issues of the. So it's a complete document which given all the requirements of the data integrity. So next one is Udalux Volume 4 and EMA. They have also given data integrity, the question answer session in 2016. So they have also published that they are following the WHO TRS. So they have given the reference of WHO TRS. So it means they are also following the WHO. So WHO should be followed for Eurodrolux and EMA countries. So the Health Canada also published the guide document, Good Manufacturing Practice Guide for Drug Products in July 2020. It's a recent one, and they have given the requirements of data integrity. And next one is the Therapeutic Goods Administration, the TGA, the Australia agencies. So they have published on one slides presentation by his inspector on the site. So you can also refer these slides. I have taken some slides from this guidance also. So you can also refer this guidance for data integrity, the references. The next one, expert views. So I have also included the industrial practices and the documents which is published by the several organizations. So we'll discuss on this. The first one is the International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering, ISP. ISP also published the guidance document and records and data integrity guide. And next one is IPA. IPA also published the data reliability guidelines in 2017. It's a very good, good and complete document which describe all the requirements of data integrity issues and the practical approaches, designing the risk assessment. So as per my opinion, it's a complete document. I have taken several slides from this guidance also. So you can also refer this guidance for the data integrity compliances. And next one is the IP also published in 2018, a good documentation practices guideline. So you can also refer this guideline in conjunction with the data integrity requirement guideline. So the next one is the Royal Society of Chemistry, also published data integrity and data governance book, a complete book which describe all the strategies, all the examples. They have included all type of examples of manufacturing, production, engineering, and all type of examples. So you can also refer. Or I am just announcing that the references which I have elaborated, or I am just presenting, they have also available with us. So if you required, you can also demand for the documents. So we will
Ramraj,
also provide this on the basis. Yes.
Ramraj,
Yeah.
Bridges, PPT is not moving. Can you check?
Now this moving.
No.
I just reconnected. So the complete PPT is not moving, or that's I am reconnecting.
Slide number 3 and 4 are showing at a time, but slide is not moving.
Okay, okay. Now we just connecting. Yes, reconnecting. Give me my. So now now आप देख पा रहे होंगे स्क्रीन?
नहीं,
Still you are not getting?
अभी भी वैसे स्लाइड नंबर 3 एंड 4 एट ए टाइम दिख रहा है, फिफ्थ भी दिख रहा है थोड़ा पार्शियल, बट स्लाइड प्रेजेंटेशन में नहीं।
आपको नहीं दिख रहा, बाकी दिख रहा है। काइंडली कुछ दूसरा बंदा बताएगा।
आप देखोगे ना मैसेज भी आपको
नहीं
मिल
दिख
रहा
रहा
है
सर।
नॉट मूविंग।
सर वही स्लाइड दिख रही है, नहीं दिख रहा है सर।
ओके ओके, विल रिकनेक्ट, विल रिकनेक्ट। So now दिखाई दे रहा है? हेलो।
नहीं सर, अभी शेयर नहीं हुआ। हेलो,
शेयर नहीं हुआ?
स्लाइड शेयर कीजिए सर।
एक मिनट।
नहीं,
It's okay, Ramraj. It is looking now. Ramraj, now it is okay. You can move it. रामराज आपका वॉइस नहीं आ रहा, आप बोल रहे हो कि नहीं अभी?
It should be permanent, no explained and properly corrected is necessarily. And the contemporaneous, it means it's recorded in the real time. Data should be recorded in the real time. जब किया गया है तभी वो रिकॉर्ड होना चाहिए. Original data must be preserved in under unadulterated state. If not, why not? It means the data should be stored in the original form when they have created. At the same type of data should be preserved till the life of the data. Accurate data must correctly reflected action, observation made, data checked whether necessary, modification explained, if not, self-evidences. So then we will discuss one by one the requirement. The attributable means information is captured in the record so that it is uniquely identified as explained by the originator of the data and person and or computer system is called attributable. Then legible, the term legible, traceable and permanent refer to the requirements that data are readable, understandable and allow a clear picture of the sequencing of the step or event in the record. Contemporaneous is the process, the documentation of paper or electronic at the time of occurrence of an activity. And the original data includes the first or source capture of data or information and all the subsequent data required to fully reconstruct the conduct of the GXP activity. Accurate means the data are correct, trustworthy, valid and reliable. It's a data integrity main principle. The sub principle as plus is complete. The complete means you all know that complete means all information should include in the data. Consistent, it should be consistent. It means you have to maintain the continuity of the process and data so that all time data should be same and the data will be changed as per the process. So the principle will be same. So then enduring means that our data have been recorded on authorized media which can be preserved for a period of time. Example, notebooks, number, worksheet, etc. So available means that the complete collection of record can be assessed or retrieved for review and audit of inspection over the lifetime of the record. It means the data should be available when it's required or when inspector is asked about the data, it should be readily available. So that it's a requirement of data integrity principle. Now we can understand from this flowchart the designing paper system which reduce opportunity for falsification. So we have to design our system as like that. So there is no chance of falsification of data. So I have given this slide from the TGA presentation. They have given the attributable, the signature requirement, signature log. So होना चाहिए उसमें legible, permanent होना चाहिए. It means आपको पेंसिल यूज नहीं करनी है, व्हाइट पेपर, सॉल्युबल इंक्स यूज नहीं करनी है, आपको इंक ऐसी यूज करनी है जो कि उड़े नहीं. इट मींस आफ्टर सम टाइम इट्स नॉट फेड. It means the data till the life of the data, it should be readable in the accurate form, in the correct form, in the original form. And then the original is a workbooks form, controlled, verified, true copy, scans, etc. Contemporaneous system design documents the right place at the right time. It means if you want to record the data on time, you have to provide the facility. As for example, आपके पास clocks ही नहीं है in the area, then how can we record the time, actual time, date and time? So you have to provide the clocks on the wall at the defined place or the required places, and you have to control this blank format also. And the accurate, it means that the reflection of observation, data checking, raw data verification. For accuracy, you have to design a system so that you can check the requirements or check the data for its accuracy. The next one, the designing electronic system which reduce opportunity for falsification. So then we'll start from accurate data capture, manual data entry, so data audit till review. It means if you are designing the electronic system, there are several requirements including the audit till review. So you have to develop a system for audit till review. We will discuss more on the audit till review because nowadays it's a very warning topics, because We are not reviewing the data, we are manipulating the data, and we are not reviewing. So actual things we are not capturing during our review process. So offer a metadata which permit reconstructions. C for auto saving, steps wise recording, system clock synchronizing option will be provided. So data automatically recorded with date and time stamping. And eligible permanent data security, audit tails, backup systems, validation. It means the system should be validated. Data security policies should be applied on the systems. Audit trail should be activated on all the system at the time of the installation of the system. You cannot stop the audit tail of the instrument without the solid justification, because it's a guidance requirement. You have to on your audit tail at all the time from the initial to the discontinuation of the instruments. And now attributable user access control, e-signature, metadata should be maintained. So these are the requirement of designing system for electronic system. And then records. If we talk about records, there are several requirements of guidance. So we will discuss about the requirement of static records. The expectation from paper records include control for retention of original paper, record for certified true copies of original paper. It means you can store the data, it's a original form. It means that if you're talking about the paper data, it should be stored in the paper form, or you can also scan these papers, but it should be, the originality should be maintained throughout the life cycle of the data or documents. So the records shall be include written procedure, training, review of audit, and self-inspection processes, defining conversations, and needed the original paper record to true copies, which shall be done the following step. Copy are made of original paper records, preserving the original record format, the static format, and the required photocopy PDF form. So if we talk about the static format मतलब जो पेपर की फॉर्म में हमने प्रिंट निकाला हुआ है, it means the hard copy of the documents is called the static record or static data. If we talk about the dynamic record means the HPL का जो क्रोमेटोग्राम है उसको हम बोलेंगे कि वो डायनेमिक डेटा है. इट मींस हम इसे जूम कर सकते हैं, रीड कर सकते हैं, इसमें डेटा को हम चेंज कर सकते हैं. इट मींस if we are storing a type of data, it's called a dynamic data. So the expectation from electronic records are very huge. So we will speak on these. These shall include written procedure, training, review, audit. As like the paper document, we have to maintain all the original record, electronic records to true copies, which shall be done the following steps. Copy are made of original electronic data set, preserving the original record format, the dynamic format as required. Example, backup copy of the entire set of the electronic data and metadata using a validated backup process. A second person verifier of the technical verification process shall confirm successful backup, where its comparison is made electronic backup copy. It means the requirement of the dynamic data is that you have to take the restoration of this data also. It means अगर आप डेटा को स्टोर कर रहे हैं, बैकअप ले रहे हैं, आपको टाइमली और पीरियडिक आपको चेक करना चाहिए वेदर ये डेटा इज रनिंग और जैसा आपने सेव किया था वैसा ही दिख रहा है. सो यू कैन वेरीफाई फ्रॉम द हार्ड कॉपी विद दिस द सॉफ्ट कॉपी as an restoration check at a defined frequency. So there are few special risk management consider retention of original records copy, certified true copy of electronic. We will discuss on the risk assessment of the documents in later part of the presentation. We have given several examples of risk assessment also in the presentation. For example, the original dynamic electronic. Hello. So now as another example, preserving the dynamic format of clinical study data, capturing electronic case report. For example, ECRF, capture of electronic data, allowing searching query of data, whether it's a PDF form or CRF form. Even if include a PDF file, audit trails would preclude such and query of content. So these are the requirement of the electronic data. So now we'll speak on analytical laboratories, common concern and controls. So from now onwards, I have taken all the slides from the TGA presentation. So they have given the DI expectation as lab electronic system, data review processes, audit review processes, manual integration, analysis training, spreadsheet management, and test injection. So we'll speak on these headings one by one. So now laboratory electronic system. So there are 4 requirements. It should be validated. Configurations, it means audit tail should be activated. Operating system security, data backup, archiving, test method, configuration. If we'll talk about the validation, software validation, hardware qualification, configuration management, change management, a periodic review system should be developed, and user access, SOP for user control, access control should be there. Individual user access should be defined, define user privileges, and your SOP should be defined the role of system administrator and user, and you have to define all the levels in the SOPs. And data management, data reviews SOP should be there. Raw data verification, external calibration tools, audit tail review, and e-signature should also be the part of the SOP, data management SOP. So now data review process, considering electronic and paper-based record, clear SOP required for data review. So frequency, roles, responsibility, approach to risk-based review of data, metadata including audit tails should be reflected in the SOPs, ensuring that the entire set of data is considered. In the reported data should include checks of all location where data may have been stored, including location where voided, deleted, invalid, rejected data may have been stored. So these are the requirements, and who, when, what, how. So these are also several questions which you have to include in SOP. Who collected, when was it collected, what was collected, how was the data collected. These are the questions, and these are the requirements we have to review during the data review process. Who, when, what, how data proceed, and when data is received, reported. So these are the points which you have to include in during the data review process. So then we'll talk about the audit tail review process. So the audit tail, nothing is that. Audit tail is the electronic form of the data that gives the clear cut idea about when the data is generated, when it modified, created, modified, and as we have already told that you cannot delete the data without any justification, or you cannot delete the data. It's a requirements. So technical controls to add secondary review of the audit tail should be identified, or identify data that had been changed or modified during the audit tail review. Reviewer, I want to more focus on the audit tail, because audit tail is the picture of the whole analysis. So if you will go the audit trail, you will also find that what is the method sequence, what is the method, and what processing will be done, or what process was done during this data. So you can take the view from the audit tails, and you can also find the falsification or the deletion and modification, the changes were done during the analysis also. So these are the audit tail. Audit tail requirements. I have taken this slide from the WHTRS 1025. The requirement of chromatographic system, they have defined, well-defined chromatographic system have an audit tail which reflect, for example, users, dates, time, original data, and result changes and reason for change. It means अगर हम audit tail की requirement की बात करेंगे तो chromatographic system में audit tail activated होना चाहिए, और उसमें user का पता होना चाहिए कौन user था, dates क्या थी, time क्या था, original data, record, results, changes क्या हुए, region of changes should be reflected in the audit tail. Full audit tail should be enabled from the time of installation of software. Audit trails should remain enabled through not just connecting. Hello, are you getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
Ramraj, you can continue.
You are getting my voice? Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So data review, we have discussed the data review process, the audit tail requirements, and I am discussing about the requirement of WHTRS. So WHTRS ने एक well defined procedure दिया हुआ है, और उसमें बहुत सारे headings दिए हुए हैं जिसमें कि chromatographic system की requirements दी हुई है. It's the latest document which is published by WHO in 2020 only. So the full audit tail should be enabled from the time of installation of software. Audit trail should remain enabled throughout the life cycle of the chromatic audit system. Audit trail should be reviewed in accordance with an SOP. It means the guidance also given that you have to SOP for audit trail review and the requirements, who will review the data and audit trail, and what are the requirements audit trail. Audit trail को review करते हुए check क्या करेगा वो. So there are several things you have to include in this the audit trail review SOP. So the content of audit trail, the audit trail shall be inexorably linked to the electronic record. It shall be secured and not have the facility for editing or deleting, hence providing a permanent record. The main function of audit trail is to provide assurance for the integrity of the electronic record. For each entry, the following information shall be recorded. As I have already told, during audit trail review or the generating the audit trail, a date and time stamp should be there. Name of the user making the change, user ID, batch number, record, link of record, original value, change value, reserve for change should be reflected in audit trail. So content of trail, we have already discussed the requirements and date and time. System audit trails without. So now we know about the when the system having the audit trail. But what about the system which don't have the audit trail facility? So what will be the actions? What will be the action plan for this system? So where system do not provide the facility to change data, for example, a data logging system used to capture process data like temperature, and the data is stored securely, and audit trail shall not be necessary. However, such a decision must be documented. So if there is no chance in changing in the data, it means you are just taking the printout as such. There is no possibility in the software, and so there is no need to of this audit trail. If in the case where the audit trail is not being employed, a security process must be put in place, validated and controlled by a SOP. This shall ensure that only authorized user have access to system. Control between configuration, operation are separated, and that only administrator has is. If the system don't have the audit trail facility and there is a chance of addition, modification, deletion, so we have to we have a controlling system on this system. So you can say you have to apply the policies, system policies, date and time locking policies, and IT policy also. So you can also prevent this modifications. Although alternate methods shall be employed to provide assurance of integrity of critical parameters, and procedure can be put in place to verify prior to use the critical parameter, including control and alarm set points, to ensure that they are set in validation process requirement. This shall be documented within the batch record of computerized control system and in the laboratory analysis or sample record for laboratory instruments. So these are the requirements. These are also requirements. The organization shall purchase and upgrade software that includes electronic audit trail functionality. Audit trail functionality should be configured properly to capture a general system event and activities relating to the acquisition, deleting, overwriting, and changes to the data. Audit trail should be verified during validation of the system. Where audit trail facility are not available, alternative arrangement must be implemented. Administrative procedure, secondary checks and controls. अगर हमारे system में audit trail activity facility नहीं है, you can also put an SOP and controls measures, do a checker and system after each analysis. Also you can include in your SOP, or on periodic basis you can also review the requirement of this. Audit trail functional must be enabled and locked at all times. Policy and process shall be implemented for review of audit trails in accordance with risk management principle. Audit trails of each batch should be reviewed. So I have seen so many 483s published by the FDA that they have told that the audit trail was not reviewed before the batch release. So it's a requirement before releasing the batch into the market, you have to review the audit trail. Then we will discuss the review requirements, how we can review the audit trail. If it's required only hard, you can review the audit trail in hard or soft. We'll discuss later slides. So audit trail review comment issues. So reason for change or deletion of GMP relevant data not documented. It is a major issue during found during the several audits. So method to record legitimate changes to data that need to be considered when doing audit trail review or covered by SOP. is that is allowable changes to the method. Explanation for all data recorded, complete data including the results that are not reported, deviation from SOP, typical results shall be investigation. So these are requirements and common issues found. Reason for changes should be should be reflected in the audit trail. Every time it is not possible that maybe valid reason for invalidating data, but we are hiding the facts. It is not the two good things. जरूरी नहीं है कि वो audit trail if you are aborting the sequences, you have the valid reason, but still you are hiding the facts. So it's a requirement. You have to file the incident, or you have the quality management tool at per your organization. So you have to file the organization tool for this type of observations and other things. Audit trail challenges. So use of paper copy review for electronic system is very typical, because you know very well when you are taking a printout of HPLC chromatogram for the sequence, the method sequence, there are several pages, so it is very difficult to review the this audit trail, but it's a requirement of guidance, so you have to review and you have to make a system for review of audit trail also. So recording of the trail review, how to manufacture domiciles that have reviewed audit trails. So you have to provide a documented evidences that you have reviewed the audit trail. If your system is providing audit trail review facility, so you can also justify that your audit trail review, we have reviewed the audit trail, and you can also check the audit, the login time, login exit time. Why this you can also justify, but it is my opinion you have to make a separate log. Easily identify, and you can easily identify that which data we have reviewed it as a per point of view of this audit trail. So you can also maintain such type of records in the organization. So recording of audit trail review. What about manufacturer who don't have electronic signature available? So I've already told that if you don't have the electronic signature record, so you can also make a logbook for this audit trail review logbooks. And you can, after review the data on system, I am focusing on system, the hard copy should be verified with the original record on the system. After that, you will sign this record and record in the logbook. These are the requirements. So system requirement, I have already told that the system date and time should be logged, and it should be all GMP action on chronology should be date and time tracked होना चाहिए, उस पे date time stamps आनी चाहिए, जिससे कि you have already easily identified that when it was generated and who is generated, and the time also is generated requirement. So nowadays, as I have already discussed, that the TJ also given the requirements of manual integration controls. So the requirement is that you have you cannot integrate the analysis manually. You have to perform the integration automatically where you require the integration. As for example, if you require the integration in case of RS testing, so you have to define the procedure. In case if you are doing the manual integration, then you have to define your SOP, the cases, and the procedure of reviewing the manual integration, and you have to verify the automatic integration with the manual integration to identify the falsification of data or proper the integration of the peaks. So these are the requirements. So the training is very important for all point of views, whether it is hard data, with the soft data. So it is because if you are not providing a proper training to the users about the data integrity requirements or the audit trail review and the importance of data, importance of audit trails, then you cannot achieve your goal or your target. So it is it's a very requirement. It's a requirement that you have to provide the effective training. I am focusing that effective training. So you have to review the training program also, that if you are providing a training, whether it is effective or not. Effective means if you are कुछ आप बता रहे हैं, it means if you are telling something and the person is implemented as such, जैसा कि आपने बताया वो वैसा ही implement कर रहा है. If there is some changes or modification or the poor understanding or the poor training quality, so you have to identify the effective training also. So the spreadsheet, the also a requirement of the USFDA also defined the requirements of spreadsheet. It's a version control, date and timestamp should be there, and it should be controlled through SOP. So you can use the spreadsheet, but it should be controlled in a control manner. Where formula and other functions are used, there is a potential for these to be corrupted without being detected. So if you are using a spreadsheet, it's very made the Excel sheets. So you have to validated, you have to use the validated Excel sheet and by in control manner. So these are requirement. And then a test injection, trial runs. So is you are seeing auditor, when your editor in the facility, they are asking about the trial runs. If you are saying yes, we are using the trial runs, so you can assume that there are several 483 observed due to this trial runs. Actually में करते क्या है हम बोलते तो trial runs हैं, because we are injecting the trial runs or test injections to check the system suitability, to check the performance of the system. But nowadays it's a very it's prohibited, because during this trial run people are injecting the sample solutions and they are checking the peak of the this injections, and then they are checking the results of the. So auditors have raised several queries, and nowadays it's strictly prohibited in the industry. So you do not use the trial runs. If you are still using the trial runs, so you can refer the IPA guidelines. I have already described in the beginning of the my training session. IPA given the requirements of this trial runs. How can you manage this trial runs, and what is the procedure to be followed? And TJ also given the in presentation the trial runs, the test injection requirements, and the presentation part. So nowadays, not only QC, the microbiological testing is a very hot topic, because you know very well there is no tracking system. Tracking, it means the electronic system in microbiological lab. As for example, the plate preparation, the colony counting, and then incubation. There are several things which we are performing in the microbiological lab without a tracking. So it is very huge topic for this FDA persons. They are taking the data integrity. They have found several data integrity issues during the microbiological review. So microbiology may present a greater risk of DI risk. So you have to also maintain the data integrity requirement in the microbiological lab also. So general issues of that I will discuss. That this trial I have taken from this TGA presentation. As such, the manipulation of data, no testing conducted, no counting out colonies, out of limit data not being investigated, resampling, retesting without justification, incomplete testing. Also the general issues observed during the several audits. Sample not taking or lost in the transit, but we are also if sample is not available, how can we test? But we are also reporting the results. It means you are reporting the falsification data, no reconciliation of sample, incubation condition incorrect, using unvalidated test methods, and poor test records. Also the critical issues during the several regulatory inspection. No recording all key test data, worksheet put up and replaced, no reconciliation, a lack of proper computerized system security, colony morphology not matching identified tests. So these are the issues, common issues, general issues observed using the several audits. The contributing cause is the competence supervision, and the lack of effective control, secondary checks, computerized system configuration, organizational cultural resources. So these are the contributing causes of this. These are issues during this audits. So now the DI controls manual test methods. So these are the slides I have also taken from this TGA. The sampling schedule plans, training to control on sampling procedure. You have to define sampling schedule plans, training of technicians, sampling forms, detailed collection method, identity of sampler recorded, test volumes, weights recorded, the calibrated instrument used. So these are the requirements. Incubation, record maintenance, minimum maximum incubation time defined, validated, all transfer subculturing recorded, all incubated sample tagged and identified, reading results, technical trained in detection, enumeration and morphology, the counting devices, clear So these are related to the microbiological as well as for the chemical analysis also. These are the manual test methods. So you have to control on these to avoid the data integrity issues. So now we'll speak the responsibility. If we are talking about the data integrity, so there are several requirements. So guidance also established, and they have given the responsibility of management, higher management, the responsibility of highest management ensuring the data integrity guidelines are implemented across the entire organization, and the system should be developed, robust and sustainable data management system, governance in place, establishing and maintaining organization-wide commitment to data reliability, and as essential element of quality system. So there are several requirements given for the management. So they have to ensure that proper systems should be in place, proper resources, manpower, training should be provided, and data integrity policies should be developed and displayed and communicated to all. So there are the requirements of the system should be developed for data governance. We'll discuss the data governance requirement and the responsibility of other requirements. So the SMEs, the subject matter expert, which are responsible for ensuring the data integrities, policies, and procedures. So the performing data process, life cycle mapping, gap assessment, risk identifies, the identifications, and mitigation plans should be there. Developing data reliable checklist and review process should be there. Designing and updating training materials and imparting training as required. So these are the responsibility of SMEs. If we talk about the data reliability compliance head, it means the person is heading the data reliability compliances, responsibility to maintaining overall data governance functionality, notify to head QA or senior management about the incidental discrepancies raised during data reliability inspection by data reliability auditors. Will discuss the requirements of the data governance also. Identifying a root cause for data reliability issues in association with site management and SMEs, and providing CAPAs, regulatory inspection, providing guidance to respective SMEs and CAPAs for the same, providing inputs in overall improvement in quality metrics. These are the requirements and these are the responsibility of head of DI. And data reliability auditors are responsible to performing the scheduled audit or the checkpoint as per the defined procedure, ensuring compliance related to the discrepancy identified during the inspection. All employees are responsible for following the data integrity guidelines. Responsibility related to data reliability will be communicated to each level of the employee through a code of conduct document, and each employee will acknowledge the same. So these are the responsibility of different heads. So what should be covered during a training session? If we are talking about the training on data integrity issues, not data integrity issues, if we talk about the data integrity training, so there are several requirements. So there are minimum checkpoints or minimum topics you have to cover during this data integrity training session. So the requirements and the following aspects shall be covered in data reliability training, but the topic need not be limited to these: data reliability and assurance using PLCA plus criteria, impact and quantification data integrity violations, GMP requirement for paper based system or electronic based system, expectation from the data, the hard copy or static data or dynamic data, or you can say the electronic data, good chromatographic practices and their requirements, and identifying unreliable lab results for analytical process, including mobile phase, system solubility, system suitability solution, sample preparation, integration peaks, etc. And recording of observation during document review and audit, data governance, risk management, data reliability, role-based training for doer, training for SMEs, data review. So you have to include these minimum requirements during that training session of data integrity. So data governance, I have already discussed data governance. Data governance refers to the sum total of arrangement that have been put in place in order to ensure the data, irrespective of the format in which it is generated, is recorded, processed, retained, and used to ensure a complete, consistent, and accurate record throughout the life cycle. So it's called a data governance. The organization shall appoint a task force for governance. If we will talk of the data governance, we'll take flowchart from the IP guidelines, which talks about the data governance structures. the site risk register, site control strategy, senior management, global quality. So you can say the hierarchy, or you can say the organogram of data governance, this data governance. So these are the requirements nowadays. So people also for so these are the structures of the data governance. So as we talk about data governance, so this is a requirement of code of conduct for data reliability. PICS guidelines also publish the requirement of code of conduct for each and every employee which are working in the organization, or directly or indirectly related to the manufacturing process, packing, or holding and distribution practices of the finished products. So finished and API products. So these are the code of conduct of data reliability. You can refer the full details, and this slide I have taken from IPA. So IPA given the requirements or the code of conduct of Anixer as a code of conduct for reliability, and PLAS code of ethical code conduct. So you can directly refer the IPA guidance for the same. So these are requirements. You can also put in your data integrity policy in your organization, and data integrity policies, procedures, and the code of conduct, PLAS code of ethical quality conduct should be displayed various places of the organization, so that each and every person can understand, read during the entry and exit points, so that they can follow the data integrity requirements also. So probability and error generated from various data generated source and mitigation plan. So I have taken this slide also from IPA. There are several examples and the probability of errors. We will also discuss the probability of errors and the corrective and preventive actions for the errors during the Q&A session. So now we'll move forward this risk assessment for data recording and process control. We'll discuss only a few examples for this risk assessment. Easily assessment. If you talk about the manufacturing equipment level of assets, event risk. So the high risk is a level of assets. So you have to define the levels in the manufacturing equipment PLC HMI, so that unauthorized person may assess the restrict, not may the restrict. You have to restrict this effect of failure. So cause, this may impact on final output result and equipment operation. This may change the specification and parameters that receive. This may delete order data if you are not controlling the authorization in the system, whether it's manufacturing or a quality control system. So these are the causes and the causes of the failure of data integrity also. So current control define the level of assets in place, all the applicable equipment process, production in general, equipment provided with the following level: password, operator, supervisor, administrator. So you have to provide the different levels of the level of the in the instrument, so that you can easily maintain the data integrity at the site. So privileges for assets level are not provided. So event है, risk है क्या? Privilege for assets level are not provided. Then effect of failure क्या होगा इसका? Unauthorized person may assess the operation and equipment or program. Untrained operators may operate the system or equipment. Cause क्या होगा इसका? This may impact or final outcome of the result, equipment operation. The procedure does not define requirement for password. The URI does not describe requirement access control during the validation activity. Level access are not verified. So current controls, you can provide these control level of access are defined in the SOP. User URI's qualification procedure. The verification of privilege in the part of the validation documentation. And additional operators are assigned to particular equipment based on their experience and training on the particular equipment. So this type of risk assessment you can prepare. I have given several examples. The modification date and time and zone, training individual using the system not done, non-compliances to the ALCOA, ALCOA principle. So these are the risk assessment I have taken from IPA. You can also refer this guidance for more clarity. And I have taken several examples also. The signature does not contain name, date, time and signature, no password, unique key, no periodic revision of passwords. So we will discuss on the 21 CFR Part 11 compliance checklist for the system requirements, in which we will discuss in details of the requirements. So these are the example I have taken from IPA. You can also refer the guidance for the same. So you can on the basis of risk assessment, you can draw based on assessment conclusion. It can be inferred that available controls are adequate to control. If controls are not available, then identified recommendation. You can also include the risk assessment of this risk assessment. So you can also define this type of format in your organization also. You can also follow this. So I have already discussed the 21 CFR Part 11 assessment checklist. So I have taken this slide also from IPA. So you can maintain, you have to maintain 20% part of our assessment checklist for individual system, so that you can assure the data integrity requirements. So these are the password policies. This software should have individual user account. Such accounts should be password protected. Password and user ID policies. You have to define the password length, the password minimum length, strength of ID and password should be available. The software should automatically limit the number of failed attempts. The software should automatically record unauthorized login attempts. The software should electronically require users to change their password at regular intervals. The software should automatically password protect computer system when ideal short period time. When logging is first time, the system should ask both user ID and password for all future transaction systems. So this is this type of checklist you can also implement in your organization. So this same checklist is given in the IP guidance also. So you can also refer this guideline. They have given all type of requirement for the system, so all type of system production and the QC system also. So you can you can refer this electronic signature requirement, data backup requirement, also the checkpoints and validations, training requirements, as in this. So data reliability inspection checklist, I have discussed in the data governance part that you have to review the system on the basis of checklists. So this is the example of checklist. You can also make this this type of checklist for data integrity compliance, the training awareness. So you can divide it in sub parts in this data integrity this checklist. So I have taken this slide from IPA. So training, awareness, and data management, you can define these are the requirements. Have all the employees taken the place quality in the basic data reliability training modules, a part of induction program. Are data reliable inspection performed at the site by QA? Do site GDP SOP is available? Are specimen signature available? It is the same person who performed the activity. Are OS result investigated? Are uncontrolled document being used at the site? This type of checkpoints you can verify, or you can define the action, further action plan. The paper system, electronic system requirement also given for this. All are paper format, paper format also given, and electronic system requirement also given in the checklist. So standalone system also given. So standalone system requirement are date and time being logged. All standalone system is critical data checked and accuracy if the relevant print record is not available. Does the standalone system have sufficient memory for data storage? The data being backup as a approved procedure. If the standalone system is not capable to storing the data, is the paper data being secured by the approved procedure? Is the standalone system being used authorized person only? So these are the this type of question you can include in your checklist. So yeah, refer this for this you can refer IP guidance. The same checklist is given in IP guidance. So I have already take the data integrity is the soul of the industry. So you have to design in such a way so that you can ensure the data integrity compliances by design, not by luck. So you have to design the processes in such a way all activity related quality GMP shall be designed so support data reliability across the data lifecycle in order to ensure that data is complete and meet the LQAP criteria. Design for paper-based system, there are requirements. Paper format should be controlled and accounted manually. Where possible, electronic systems shall be implemented to control the account for paper format. Archival mechanism shall be established in such a manner that paper records should be secured. Wherever possible, paper record shall be archived with help of electron. Full control over protecting data in original text. Accurate, legible, and contemporaneous recording of paper data shall be monitored and verified with little loss of time from when the data was recorded. Risk-based review mechanism shall be included in the design. So these are the do's requirements of GDP. हमें क्या करना चाहिए? हमें अपनी SOP में define करना चाहिए date and time का format, date time DDMM by या फिर in case if you are following the DDMM and 4x, you can also follow the 4x and the time is railway time should be used and जो pen है वो हमें permanent pen use करने हैं, हमें gel pen use नहीं करना चाहिए and GMP data, GXP data should be recorded directly on approved and authorized format. Generally, people are doing that they are recording the data on the rough papers. Not directly on the required, the approved documents. So it's a requirement you have to record directly on the approved and authorized format. Alteration may be handwritten entry may be made following manner. If you are you have done some mistake, just cut it a single line. Do not overwrite this data and just cut a single line and put a signature with date and along with the remarks why you are putting why you are cutting the data. It means the ALCA principle should also follow in this correction also. It means आप अगर काट रहे हैं data तो ये data किसने correct किया है, कब किया है और क्यों किया है. सो कौन कर रहा है ये पता चल रहा है सिग्नेचर से, कब किया है डेट से पता चल रहा है आपको, तो मतलब किसने काटा है, कब काटा है, क्यों काटा है और कैसे काटा है मैंने आपको बता दिया। सिंगल लाइन कट करना है, ओवरराइट नहीं करना है। अगर आप कट कर रहे हैं तो पुराना डेटा दिखना चाहिए कि पुराना डेटा क्या था जिसको आपने कट करके सही किया हुआ है, और रीजन आपको रिफ्लेक्ट करना चाहिए। इफ सम क्रिटिकल डेटा, इफ यू आर cutting the dates and some values also calculation, it is my personal opinion, and you have to cross verify with the supervisor or the QA personnel, so data should be accurate, or it's considered as a valid data. So modification, changes and correction in the master document shall be carried out through change control procedure. So it's a well known in the industry. If you are changing some some documents, you have to file the change control. Or generally, look, people are doing, they are cutting the master document, the signing on master document. So the correction procedure is only applicable for the executed data, not for the master data. So for master, you have to file the change control and correct the document as per change control. If some entry is blank or data is not required, then you have to put the NA not applicable, and then you have to make the signature and date with the B justification of the recording column. And you are generating a draft data, draft document, then you have to watermark the draft requirement, and critical significant step in document shall be identified, and same shall be required to be checked by second person. So it's a requirement of process design. So actual observation shall be recorded in the record. However, in certain formats such as checklist, the recording yes or no shall be used to indicate whether activity was performed or not. For analysis and manufacturing, SOP, BMR, STP shall be followed step by step. That is, sequentially documentation should happen concurrently. MS Excel sheet should be used and should be validated. Signature specification record should be there. In case where the original record have attached, there shall be clear indication about the number of attachment. Traceability, parent-child relationships shall be maintained in chronological order. It means you have to mention that how many document you are attaching with the documents. Take an example. If you are closing a change control, then you have to mention that what type of document you are attaching with this change control. While handling thermal papers, the procedure should be signature followed by photocopy. So generally some printout we are taking on thermal paper due to the limitation. So it is the requirements for, in case of thermal paper, you have to take the photocopy and attach the photocopy along with the original record with the original records. So next process design, all bit slip, printouts, chromatogram, spectrum, etc. shall be signed after completion of activity. Printouts pasted in the record shall have relevant signature across the printouts. Documents shall be maintained without any damage. Electronic records are equally important, are given the attention by regulatory agency. So these are the requirements. We have discussed the requirement of do's. Now we'll discuss the requirement of don'ts for GMP. So handwritten correction on master document are not permitted. I have already discussed. Use of ditto marks to full repetitive entry is not permitted. Use of third bracket is not allowed for signature against multiple entries. Use of pencil or any removable water soluble ink not permitted. Use of eraser of ink removal or whitener is not permitted. Recording of data on unauthorized document, post-in notes, sticky sheets, scrap paper, personal notebook, glass boards, whiteboards, etc. is not permitted. Overwriting multiple crossing on the original entry data, similar practice are not permitted. So an entry made by person on GMP document but not signed and dated by the person who have made entry not acceptable and authentic. Pre-dating or backdating entry is strictly prohibited or not permitted. Destruction and deletion of record, document or report because any error or mistake are strictly not permitted. Such a record, document or report is still required for reason for traceability. Deliberately amending or destroying record, document, report to hiding or falsifying is strictly forbidden. Such action shall be lead to strict disciplinary action. So if you are intentionally changing, I want to focus that these guidelines are applicable on the mistakes or the routine practices or to follow the procedure, but these guidelines are not applicable for intentional data integrity failure. So you cannot intentionally do a task to generate a data integrity issues. So in that case, you have to take the disciplinary action. Guidance also talks about that. You have to follow the GMP norms strictly, and you have to take the strict actions if they are not following or not followed strictly. So the doer and checker document, doer and checker requirement also followed during the document filling, and you cannot put other sign. So for checker to sign, document must have the signature of the doer. The checker cannot be only individual to sign that. It means you have to put after completion of work, you have to put the doer sign, and the second person should check these documents. So design of electronic system, we have already discussed about the requirement. All computer system use organization shall be evaluated, control and manage accordance with the GMP and GDP requirement. To assure the integrity of electronic data, computerized system will be validated, level appropriate for their use of application. Validation will address the necessary control to integrate, ensure the integrity of data, including original electronic data and any printouts of PDF form. So the computerized system that have potential for impact on product quality shall be designed and managed to ensure protection from accidental and deliberate manipulation, modification, or any other activity that may impact data integrity. So user will be adequately involved in validation activity to define critical data and data lifecycle control that assure data integrity. So then a signature requirement. So I deliberately taken this slide because there are some confusion in the industry about the doer, checker, verifier, the subscribes. So I have taken the requirements. So I will discuss the signature practices. So the person that shall not sign for multiple role for one activity, I have already, the same person cannot sign multiple role for one activity. Done by means जो आदमी काम कर रहा है उसको बोलेंगे हम done. Done by means performed by, and the person is doer. The doer is the person who is responsible for the activity by means of preparation, doing or performance. The done by signature identify the person who actively did that work, documented it. Thus the done by signature is attributable to the person performing the activity or generating the data. It means it complies the requirement of attributable. The doer is the person who actually performed the activity and shall record or make entry of observation by him, her, followed by signature and date. So these are the requirement of done by. Now we will discuss the checked by. This identify the person who witness an activity being performed. It means checked by क्या है, जो कि जिसने एक्टिविटी को अपने सामने हुआ देखा है. It means this identify that person who witness, गवाह है उस एक्टिविटी का. The checker is person who proficient in task performed and has been trained to perform the activity. The checker verify the doer has recorded contemporaneously. It means doer का ये responsibility है कि वो ये check करे कि जो भी steps हैं as per approved document के हिसाब से follow हुए हैं नहीं हुए हैं, जब हुए हैं तब record हुए हैं कि नहीं हुए हैं, जिसने किए हैं उसने record किए हैं कि नहीं किए हैं. It means the attributable contemporaneous activity should be followed. The checker has waited and witnessed the activity being performed. I have already discussed. For the checker to sign the document must have the signature of doer. It does not mean that checker ने doer ने sign नहीं किया, checker ने sign कर दिया. It does not mean. It means first of all, doer shall sign the activity, then the same activity should be valid as the same activity is checked by the different person. So after the completion of activity, the checker should sign the records. The checked and recorded by the supervisory recording by subscribe will discuss the requirement. So checked and recorded by shall carry that initial and signature. I have already discussed the checker requirement, doer and checker requirement. So now I am discussing the use of supervisory recording, the scribes to record activity on behalf of another. It is strictly prohibited, but there are few cases. As for example, if you are manufacturing some sterile preparation, there are limitations where the actual doer is not record the activity. In that case, the use of supervisory recording subscribe to record activity on behalf of another person shall be considered exceptional and should take place only when normal documenting procedure can place the product or activity as risk. Example, in manufacturing step such as addition of material in batch of documenting line intervention by sterile operator. So these are activities when you can use the scribes, but you have to maintain the list of scribes, the activity, which activity required scribes, and it should be approved by quality units. So now the very confusing words, verified. So the several person are confusing with this word, checked by, what is checked by, what is recorded by, what is verified by, what is reviewed by. So we have discussed the doer, checker, and supervisory requirement. Now I am discussing verified by. The verified by signature identify the person who ensure that the work was performed and documented correctly. He or she verified that sequential steps were performed and the doer has recorded the entries based on objective evidence. Associated record. It means verified does not mean that he is always available at the time of activity. Verify means he or she verified that sequential step follow हुए हैं और वो कहाँ से verify कर सकता है. And the verification of evidence is available, the batch records, the logbooks, associated records. On the basis of these, the QA person is the role, active role as a verified. So on the basis of these, he can verify the activity. The verifier cannot perform the supervisory recording. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि doer checker नहीं है तो QA ने recording करनी है. The role is already defined. The doer role is defined. The checker role is defined. The verifier role is defined. Verifier is responsible only for that the active, only for the verification STP, the verification of the steps, whether the sequential step, the process, the SOP is followed during this or not. But for the recording or the activity performed, the checker is only the checker is responsible. For the verifier to sign a document, it must be a signature of doer. The verifier cannot be only individual to sign the document. Example, a document signed line cans by QA. Then reviewed it by. The reviewed it by signature identify the person who ensure that the work was performed and documented correctly. Possible a later time. It means you are reviewing the data on the basis of available sources, the raw data, metadata. So the reviewer means you are just reviewing the data document. You are not present during the activity. You have never seen the activity. You are never present during the activity performed, but you are just reviewing the data on the basis of the standard operating procedure, the metadata available, and etc. So the approved one. So this is also confusing that everybody knows that this document is approved by QA, then QA is responsible. No, the actual responsibility of the signing the document is doer and checker. The approver is only responsible for whether doer or checker system is followed or the SOP which is maintained for the system regulation is followed or not. He may verify the data for understanding or approving the data, but it is not mandatory. The approver may also review the document for clarity, understanding, and decision making. The approver is the person who is responsible for approving or authorizing the document based on evaluation of a critical step, summary, and final conclusion or comment by the reviewer. It means on the basis of reviewer comment, the approving authorizing authority is approving the data. He is not reviewing the complete data because the role doer, checker, reviewer, verifier role already defined. So now he is only approving the data on the basis of critical step, summary, final conclusion, and comment by the reviewer. And the helper assistant, we are confused that the helper can sign the document or not. So I am just clear-cut idea, giving the clear-cut idea. The helper provide assistance to the doer in order to make it easier for the better to perform physical activities. Helper are person who perform motor activity and help the doer and the supervisor in physical handling, such as moving the trolley, lifting of bag and the container, etc. It means helper just for helping to transfer the material only or lifting the bags, etc. things. It just perform the motor activity. He is not involved in the activity. The officer or the person getting such activity done through instruction will be the doer. So hope now you have clear cut idea about the requirement. If still you want some clarity, you can follow the IPA guidance. They have given the clear cut idea or the same type of system or same type of guidance in the documents. So designee, it means the designee is the person who is allocated signature and decision making authority in absence of his or supervisor superior as per deputed matrix of the organ. It means if you are signing on the behalf of head of production, QA, engineering, QC, then you have to equally qualified, or you have to matrix. In matrix, you have a designee of the respective personnel. So the deputed matrix shall be prepared by site and supported function. The allocation of designee based on their knowledge, experience, and competency. The designee shall be performed the same function. So this is the requirement towards check and designee approval and authorization. So now we will discuss do's and don'ts of practical approaches. If that to be ensured that all document entry must be made at the time of complete task. If task has been carried out but has not been entered, it need explain along with sign date. It is a requirement do's. Don't backdating and that entering a date on the day after task. We have already discussed that date backdating or forward dating. You cannot do this. All activities that have been carried out by person need to be a signature only. Signature entry should be considered signature recorded, signature log. It means you have to sign as per signature log, and signature of another person you cannot allow. You cannot put the signature of other. If there are hard copy, soft copy, same data, important both data should be matched. It is essential that date and time should be always current. Data when data is printed in should not be modified. Backdating analysis not allowed. It example in case of stability sample testing, etc. In chromatographic the peak should be properly integrated, and if manual integration is needed, it should be documented and done only after approval. Integration parameters of chromatographic data should not be changed in order to obtaining passing result. It means you cannot change the integrating parameters to pass the result, to pass the samples. You have to follow the system, and if system is failing, then you have to file the OS, investigate as per the SOP, and then find out the root cause and take the action accordingly. Every data file generated shall be reported and accounted for. Tile runs are not be generated either with different file name or different path, and no record is to be deleted. Once an undesirable result is identified, it should be reported immediately and investigated as per procedure. Once an undesirable result is identified, it must not be hidden or ignored. The analysis need to be logged in only with his and her login and ID, and IDs and password are not to be shared with anyone else. Also, login is with the generator ID not permitted. So other do's requirement are there. It is important for the analyst to make all data and written entries using indicable link so as to prevent the recording from the getting erased, change or manipulation. Using erasable ink, we have already discussed pen, pencil, the erasable pencils you cannot use. Data once recorded should not be discarded, destroyed. All the samples should be destroyed as per approved written procedure. Samples are not to be discarded or disposed in disposal area without following any approved procedure. The exact procedure to be followed mentioned in the BMR. The procedure not to be deviated from the BMR if recorded is required only after approval, or it is not allowed to take any kind of shortcut suggested by superiors or based on experience. So these are the requirements. You can also refer the WHO TRS. For the same, they have also given the several do's and don'ts requirement as per ALCOA plus principles. You can also refer these guidance. So now we'll discuss, as we are discussing on data integrity, it's not possible without developing a culture. I am talking about quality culture in the organization. If you are not designing a quality culture in the organization, you cannot achieve the goal of data integrity compliance. So as per guidance, all the guidelines all talks about the quality culture. So I have given some idea about the culture in the foundation. Strong data ability mindset होना चाहिए. Data reliability culture can be improved through training से हो सकता है. Communication you can there are several mode to communicating the things. The notice board, the you can say the pictorial presentations, you can say the community hall meetings, etc. You can use for communicating mail, the notice board, etc. Change management system also followed so that you can also easily communicate the changes in the organization. Common understanding, awareness of impact, ownership, and leadership support is required for developing a culture. This will aid in creating an environment needed to facilitate every individual in guiding his or her own behavior to work in the interest of the organization, manufacture quality drug for the patient, and improve these behavior aspects continually. Employee responsibility related to data reliability will be communicated to each level of employee as a code of conduct, and every concerned employee will acknowledge the same. So next one is, last but not least, employee have a duty to engage in appropriate conduct to ensure that all stakeholders can trust employee decisions that are based on data information which are accurate throughout the thoroughful and complete. A culture of compliance is worn out the foundation and safe and decision action taken. Employee of organizations and organization should have a corporate policy or ethical quality conduct. Each employee should also take the pledge for ethical conduct as a commitment. So it's my humble request to all of you that you have to follow the SOPs strictly. If you are facing some problem, you will discuss. You can discuss with the supervisor, QA personnel for the corrective and preventive action, because the overall the goal or the we can say the motto of the organization is the same. We have to supply the quality medicine to the market for the patient safety, and you have to generate the data. Data should be reliable, trustworthy, so that everyone can understand. और विश्वास बोलते हैं ना जो, वो हमें गेन करना है. इट मीन्स अगर हमने विश्वास को पाने में इतना सारा समय लगा दिया, इफ आप सोचते हैं अगर हमने एक मिस्टेक की जो डेटा इंटीग्रिटी और फाल्सिफिकेशन की तरफ ले जाती है, then you will lose your image in the industry. Not only the company, you himself loosen your image. So it is my humble request, do not provoke this data integrity issues at the site. Always follow the standard operating procedure, the approved procedure developed by the organizations, so that you can achieve the goal. So now, where are you now? So you can, from the above slide, now you can click an idea about where you are. Because I have discussed only the few requirements, because it's a very huge topic. If you continue 2 or 3 hours training per day, it will take at least 1 month. 1 month. I am saying 1 month, not 1 week. So it's a very huge topic. So I have given all the ideas or the guidance references. If still you have any query, you can discuss now. Thank you very much. Now over to you, Mr. Mardul. You can start the question answer session. So, Mardul, now over to you. And participants, you can also ask a question directly to me or panelists. Today, in panelists, we have Mr. Brajesh Kumar Yadav, Himal Sharma, and Mr. Rajesh Sen. So you can directly raise your queries, your question to the panelists also. So I am requested to all of you, kindly raise your hands or raise your query so that we can answer your queries. Thank you. So now I will go with this. The question answers. Hello, sir. It is very nice and informative session. Please share the PPT link, conduct training session. Okay, no, we'll share this. Again, can I have any certificate? No. How include page new calculator? New master. So now the question is from Samir. How to include pages for raw calculation other than master document? So you have to mention your SOP that if you require additional pages, then you have to take the issuance from QA and then record the data as per requirement and then attach with the original record. How to control data integrity issues of electronic records? So it's question from Vivek Sharma. He raised that how can we electronic records? So I have already discussed that you can make IT systems to control the electronic You can by through the developing this, you can say the data integrity policy at the sites. So now, any questions from other side? Also discuss. You can also discuss. All. Hello, are you getting my voice? Hello. Yes. Are you getting my voice? Hope my voice is clear to all. Audible. Which
Yes, sir,
document we can?
आपका आवाज क्लियर है.
Yes. आप लोग क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं, हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं. Will answer in Hindi only. If you have any query, then now we have a qualified. You can say we have a very qualified the panelist group. So you can raise your query. They will definitely answer your queries. So now I think except SOP and training, how to ensure data integrity on routine bug. So Nihar Panda have a very good question, because every organization, all organizations having the SOPs, but still we are having data integrity issues. So I think it's the main motto or the main मुद्दा है कि हमें हमारा एटीट्यूड क्या है. अगर हमारा एटीट्यूड, if you want to follow the data integrity requirements at all the levels from the top to bottom, I am talking about top to bottom, the data integrity compliance is depend upon the senior management also. So on the basis of SOPs, the practices, the motivational training is also required, so that the people can understand the requirements, the need of the data integrity, the consequences of the data integrity, so that they will follow the data integrity principle voluntarily, not forcefully. The question is, Bipu Goswami, may I know how many cuttings are allowed in one page? So as per my opinion, people, you can cut 100 cuts on the page, but the requirement is that the data should be legible. It means that attributable, legible, contemporaneous should be recorded. It means if you are cutting the entries on the single page, more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 or several entries, you have to cut single. The previous entry should be reflected, दिखाई देनी चाहिए पुरानी entry, और रीजन उसका उस पे लिखा होना चाहिए पेज पर कि आपने ये एंट्रीज को क्यों काटा है. आप बहुत सारी एंट्रीज कट भी कर सकते हैं. You have to define your SOP, because if data is legible, पुराना डेटा दिख रहा है, नया वाला करेक्ट डेटा दिख रहा है, there is no need to change the document. So any question from other?
Ramraj, one more question from Sasikant. Related
Yes.
to the on which document we can put checked by, and on which document we can put reviewed by signature. Can I
So
answer
I-
this question?
Yes, you can answer.
Yeah, the checked by sign is required. As we see that the requirement is that one is doer, one is the checker. When any activity is being performed by the doer, it must be checked by somebody. Checked by the current, he is the witness of that activity is being performed. He should be present at that moment when activity was performed. But the reviewed by sign is required like paper. He will check the activity is performed through paper evidences, where reviewed by sign is required. It means that done by and checked by both are present at that moment. Checker is the witness of that activity, and reviewed by the past. It can be reviewed in later on, because activity is performed and checked by somebody, and now you can check the witness documents like a record, logbook, activity performed. We can verify, review like QA. Production one body has done the activity, and production officer has checked as a witness, and a QA can verify later on based on the review of the all witness documents. Then he can sign as a verified by.
Yes, thank you, Brajesh, for a nice guidance. Now the question from BP Goswami, any guidance mentioned done by and checked by? I have already discussed that IPA guidance, given the requirement of doer, checker, verifier, reviewer, script, designee, a complete document is given by the IPA guidance. You can also refer the WHO TRS for the same. And the next question from Samir, how to record data where online recording not possible? So I have already discussed that the requirement of data integrity is data should be contemporaneously recorded. It means जब वो हुआ है उसको तभी record करना है. If it is not possible to record at the time of activities that serious data integrity issues, I have discussed only one example, that you can use the scribe in case of sterile activity where doer is not possible to write or record the activity at the same time. So in that case, you can use the scribe, but on the other cases, you have to record all the entry contemporaneously or attributable. It means जिसने किया है उसके द्वारा ही record होनी चाहिए at the same time. Any other question from other? You can discuss.
Hello, sir. This is Vinod.
Yes,
Can you
Vinod.
hear me, sir?
Yes, we are getting your
Sir,
voice.
suppose we have one document, for example, SOP. For SOP, we have one prepared by, and suppose we have 2-3 reviewed by science and one approved by sign.
Yeah.
So all the persons are signing on the single day.
Yes.
Are you getting my point?
Yes,
There was one question asked by auditor.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I am getting your point. Can I answer your question?
Yeah, what will be the justification for that?
Sir, देखिए सबसे पहले क्या है, this is important for all of us because there is always an SOP in the organization that how to prepare the document, how to review the document, how to approve the document. So in your SOP, you have to mention clear-cut idea about that. First you have to approve the draft. It means the draft should be reviewed by all signature authority, which include doer, reviewer, approver. So when you are reviewing the draft and after completion draft approval, you are printing the SOP at the last day and you are signing the document on the same day. It's not a questionable. So you have to design your SOP in this way. First of all, you have to review the draft, approve the draft, and then on the basis of approved draft, you can print on the same day, you can sign on the same day because it is already reviewed it. Just you are putting the signature of and you are authorizing, you are accepting that this document is done, checked by me, prepared by me, and then approved by me. You can easily justify by this way.
Hello,
it is but no need to keep that all of the draft copies for the evidences. We can mention the SOP that we can destroy afterward.
Yes, you can destroy afterward.
We can
but
mention
you
that
have to mention
after approval.
your SOP. You have to mention in your SOP.
Yeah, we have
because
to
nowadays
SOP.
people or auditor are asking about the shredder logbook also. So if you are shredding the paper, some people are attaching the draft along with the change control. Some people are destroying, but they are maintaining that draft shredding logbooks. It means the paper shredding logbook. Where they are mentioning the draft of SOP number and they are maintaining the record of shredding. You can also mention this type of approach in your.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Hello, Ms. Kamran.
Yes.
So how to handle the legacy production equipment in which no printouts or nothing is there, like for thickness or for compression speed or for this. So how we handle these types of things, because it's all in operator's hand.
Yes, but in all the cases, you have mentioned in your document doer and checker. If operator is taking a bay, the same thing is checking by the second personal. So you can, and you are contemporaneously recording the reading in the batch records. So if your equipment is not having the facility of printouts, you can justify by this way. But as I already told that the system is not having the printout facility, then management should have the call that you have to upgrade your system. And nowadays the regulatory expectations are that each and equipment should have the printout, so that all the data should be trustworthy, because the auditors are not relying on the personals. They can alter by knowingly or by unknowingly. So you have the do and check system also, so then you can justify this if you are not having right now. But you have to find out, you have to make a risk assessment approach that the several instrument or the following instrument equipments having no do not having the printout facility, how you are maintaining the data integrity, how you are maintaining the trustworthy, reliable. You can say that data is reliable because these are the controls, current control at the sites. So you can maintain a risk log for that.
And the next
Yes.
question is how we carry out the data integrity risk assessment for QC equipments.
Because the same principle you can follow for all production and QC equipment. So you have, first of all, you have to identify the risk. What type of risk you will face during the analysis running, or you can say the calibration, qualifications, the audit trail review. So you can prepare a matrix for this, the risk and the causes and the consequences and the current controls. So on the basis of these, you can define the strategy of future strategy. So you can refer this for the assessment. You can refer the IPA guideline, the data reliability guideline 2017. They have given the idea about the risk assessment approach for all the QC production equipment. So you can, for detailed, you can also refer these guidelines.
Also contains the standalone equipment too.
Yes, same. You can also, for applicable for standalone systems, you can also refer this for.
Thank you.
Yeah. So any questions? Still you have any question, then you can also raise your hands. Yes, one comment says it is required to keep document destruction record. So nowadays, I have already discussed that the expectations of the auditors are that you have to maintain a destruction log of the document, because in the presentation of the SOP, I have already play a video requirement how the auditors are checking the restricted documents, because everybody seeing, especially FDA inspector, देखते हैं कि आप एक चोर हो, वो हमेशा आपको चोर की नजर से देखते हैं. So you have to mention, or you maintain a restriction log and maintain as per SOP and follow it as per SOP, so that further query is not raised by the auditor. So the next question is, night shift is approved, document full can be used, loose paper for entry. Sir, as per WHO TRS, they have clearly cut idea about that. You have to use bounded logbook, hard bound logbook. If you are using the loose form, then you have to maintain a logbook for the same, and you have to mention in your SOP using of the control of the loose format. So IP guidance also given the requirements. The FDA guidance also given the requirements. So you can use this, but you have to maintain the reconciliation of the loose sheets for accountability of this loose sheets. So in there is any guidance for data archiving, meaning how many years been an archiving data. So if you can follow the requirements of data integrity, or you can say the storage of data, you can follow the chapter 2 of documentation of EU guidance, or every guideline says about that all the analysis related data should be stored expiry plus 1 year, or from the 5 years from the release date, whichever is longer. It means the data related to the product release analysis, you have to store till expiry plus 1 year, or from the 5 years from the release date, whichever is longer. It is applicable for all the product data. For other data like qualification, calibration, stability data, you have to follow the life cycle approach, and you have to mention in your in-house SOP about the strategy of these documents. So now The further question is from, is there any guidance for data archiving? I have already discussed. How many points are required on document for verification? Is there any guidance, any prepared by, checked by? It is a requirement of guidance. Then you have to maintain doer and checker system at anyhow at the site. And out of this, it is organization call that how many filters you want to add upon these two. So the as per guidance requirement, you have to put doer and checker system, and QA verification system is fulfill all the requirements, all the guidance required. So sir, how many cuttings and allowed? I have already discussed this. And how many cutting is allowed in while document? I have already discussed this. So any other queries and questions?
I would like to add one more thing related to the how many cutting allowed.
You can add.
So just I would like to add one more thing. No single cutting is allowed in any document. In case if there is any wrong entry, then we have to do the correction and proper justification, remark, whatever. But there is no provision for cutting. There is no cutting is allowed. But in case कोई गलती हो गया है तो उस गलती को सुधारने के लिए सिंगल कट करके ओरिजिनल एंट्री अपना क्लियर होना चाहिए और उसका रिमार्क भी लिख लेना भाई इट वाज जो रॉन्ग एंट्री क्यों हुआ था, क्या हुआ था, आइदर ट्रांसक्रिप्शन एरर और रिटन एरर और कैलकुलेशन एरर. Remarks will be written with sign and date.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramraj.
So, thank you, Brajesh, for adding something. And one more question, I think. Region voting should also be reviewed. Yes. Sometime I have already discussed that if you are cutting the dates, you are cutting the calculation. These are critical. So then you have to define in your SOP that what type of data required, corrected data required, the supervisor sign or second signature requirements. So it's required if data is critical.
So in earlier, documents we had signed all the pages like or prepared by, checked by, reviewed by, and approved by. Nowadays they have changed the format and only the front page contains all the signatures and there are no signature on the subsequent pages. So is it not a DI issue because if you change anything inside the document, nobody knows?
Actually, it's a very good question. I want to speak in Hindi because most of people are from the Hindi background. आप पहले follow कर रहे थे कि सारे pages पे signature करना. I want to add something on this. If you want to change intentionally, तो उसमें तो एक sign करवाओ या 3 sign करवाओ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, सारे pages पे करवाओ. If your system is like a design that you have put signature on first page or last page only first page, then it means reviewer or done by is reviewing or completing a task as per SOP. Full document is reviewed and approved by. So you are after reviewing the signature on last page or first page. So it is not mentioned any guideline that you require the signature. But if you want that data integrity by design, or you can say the system that if somebody intentionally change or doer want to change one single page, so you have to at least you require the permission from the checker, the approver, because if you are going to change a page, you require the authorization from these two, because document having the 3 signatures. So you can design your as per your organization strategy. So this is not mandatory for signing all the pages of the documents. But it is my personal opinion that at least you have to signature and date on all the pages or the critical system related pages like SOPs, BMR, and then STP also. So that nobody can change these standards.
Sir, Ramrao sir.
Hanji.
I am Manish Kumar from Unidico.
Yes, Manish.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, मतलब 100 की जो कटिंग है वो मेंशन है कहीं
Cutting is not allowed. Cutting is only for tools for correcting the data. There is no guidance about that how many cuts are allowed. पर guidance is given how to correct the data. आप 100 कट करो 50 करो is depend upon your organization strategy. आपके SOP के हिसाब से आपने 3 लिखा है 4 लिखा है, but if you are writing the 3 correction and now you are changing the page, there is no meaning. If you are following the system that there is no overwriting, then you can allow it, the cutting, 10 cutting, 20 cutting, but it is not very good practice that you are your page is having the several cuttings, because it is my personal opinion, before writing on the pages or document you have to think upon. आपको पहले सोचना है फिर रिकॉर्ड करना है, जिससे कि आपको एरर को मिनिमाइज करना है, ना कि उसको लिखने के बाद समझ में आया यार ये तो गलत हो गया यार, अब क्या होगा, अब तो रामराज से डांट के यार, अब तो क्या करूं, इस पर काट के कर देता हूं, ओवर राइट कर देता हूं. इट्स नॉट अ गुड प्रैक्टिस. सबसे पहले आपको वही देखना है कि आपको मिनिमाइज करना है, कि एरर कैसे मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं. फिर करेक्शन के प्रोसीजर ऑलरेडी डिफाइंड, यू कैन फॉलो दीज प्रोसीजर.
रामराज जी, मैं एक पॉइंट ऐड करना चाहता हूँ. सुब्रत बोल रहा हूँ सर.
हाँ सुब्रत जी बोलिए.
हाँ, इसमें क्या है ना, आपका प्रेजेंटेबल कंडीशन में होना चाहिए. आपका डॉक्यूमेंट जो है ना, आपको किसी को प्रोड्यूस करना है तो इट शुड बी लुकिंग गुड एंड प्रेजेंटेबल.
लेजिबल रिक्वायरमेंट शुड बी फॉलोड. इट इज नॉट लेजिबल,
सो दैट मींस नॉट कि आपने 100 कटिंग किया, ये किया, तो इट शुड बी क्लियरली रीडेबल एंड इट शुड बी प्रेजेंटेबल कंडीशन. दैट ओनली. ओके, थैंक्स.
Yes, thank you. Or if you want to change the page, then you have to attach this page, the original page, along with the corrected page. Any other question? I think 2 questions are also waiting for our answer. The question answer is, now we'll take this. What should be the interval of data backup and archival? Yes, very good question. So guidelines is talking about the backup of data and the archiving of data. So the question is that अगर हम कोई भी frequency define करना है, हमारा data losses नहीं होना चाहिए. You have to define your SOP as per your actual status. If you are talking about the online server, then it is online recording. If you are not having the facility of online, then you have to design a system in such a way that data should not be lost during the backup period. If you are defining the peak period of the data, it means you are giving a line or you are giving a bracketing of 1 week. It means if you will not able to take the backup during this period, or if there is an error in the system, then how will recover this data? Because it's lost. So you have to define in SOP the periodic interval of archiving data. For nowadays, for all the chromatographic system, it is compulsory that you have to put all systems on servers so that data cannot be loose. For also, the auditor also expecting that you should also, the non-chromatographic system should also be on server. But it is a strategy, it is call of organization or the risk approach that I have already discussed. You have to, if you are using the standalone systems, standalone 21 CFR part compliant system, you have to perform the risk assessment, including the data backup or archiving the period also. And next question is from Samir, can original data be transcript? So yes, there are some requirement of the transcription of data. If you are transcripting the data, there should be solid region. As for example, आपका डेटा क्या हुआ, आप QC लैब में आपने लॉगबुक में एंट्री किया है, उसके ऊपर कोई केमिकल गिर गया, but then आप क्या करोगे आप? In that case, you have to take the logbook, issue the proper logbook and record the entry and refer the incident number on this document so that you can present this data in front of auditor, or in case of requirements you can transcript the data. But if there is no case of this, then you cannot transcript. But if you are transcript the data, there should be reason. As for example, some organization are maintaining the data, the process validation, the AMB data in the handwritten document. If somebody asks about that, I require this data in the form of subcopy, the Word format, the typing format, then you can type this document, but you have to mention the region along with the requirements. Yes. So we'll take only last 2 questions. So speak up. If still you have query, then you can also discuss with me or our panelists, Mr. Subrat, Mr. Prajesh and Hima Sharma. Then you can also discuss with that. also, and I have already given my email ID on my presentation. So you can refer my group ID, my WhatsApp ID also for the any query and any guidance and any help from myself or my group side. Our group user roles accepted, it happened due to human constant, our group user role. So you are talking about the group roles. I have already told the requirements of the separate user ID, separate password. So take an example of this. The system, HPLC system. Your data system is connected through the HPLC and the desktop. So you can define that HPLC system should have HPLC system, the operating system, the Chromium, the Barter, the Simanju systems having the separate username, login and password. But in case of the desktop, which you are using for operating the system, you can use the common system. But it is my personal opinion that you should make a common strategy that your system, all system having the username, individual user and password. But you can use guidance have not given that limitation that in that case only. But the software is directly connected or impacted due to the desktop. It means if you are changing the desktop time and date or anything in desktop is reflected in the software, then it is not recommended or you cannot use such type of login and passwords. Yes. Yes. Then what is next question and the last question? If anybody still have any question, you can ask. I think all query resolved. So thank you very much for all participants, the organizer of the this webinar, Mr. Brajesh, Mr. Subrat, and all participants. Thank you very much for participating and your kind presence during this session. So I am just requesting to all of you kindly subscribe the channel so that we can minimize the hindrance during the training session or the recording. Because I have already mentioned several times that I am facing several issues during recording this session. So I am humble requesting to all of you kindly subscribe the channel only for go live of this webinar or this training sessions so that we can record automatically these sessions. So thank you very much. Thank you, Brajesh, and all the volunteers. Mradul, are you hear me? I think he's not here. So thank you very much. So now it's a time to say goodbye to all of you and have a good Sunday. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.